Okay. So, you know how we're always like swamped, right? Like there's just never enough time in the day to get everything done.
Oh, tell me about it.
Well, maybe someone's listening, right? So that's what we're diving into today. There's this article, Why Sales Automation is Crucial for Success.
Mm-hmm.
And it's from Flowwork, so, they're all about this stuff. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Even if you're not in, like, sales, stick with us on this one. Because it's really about working smarter, not harder,
Absolutely. It's funny because when I first saw the title, I thought, oh, another sales article. But this one really gets at something much more universal, which is how to be more efficient and effective in whatever you do.
Totally. So they kick it off with this whole elevate efficiency and productivity thing, which, who doesn't want that?
Yep.
And they talk about how sales teams are, swamped and lost in mundane activities. And isn't that like everyone these days?
It's the story of our lives, right? But the thing is, it doesn't have to be. And that's what I love about this article. It's not just pointing out the problem, it's offering solutions. Like, for example, they talk about automating things like lead assignment, data entry, even those endless follow-up emails that can suck up so much time.
Right. Okay. So that's huge if you're in sales. But I'm picturing our listeners thinking, yeah, not exactly qualifying leads over here. Although, wouldn't it be nice to automate some of that inbox clutter?
That's exactly my point. Think about all those tasks that we all do, regardless of our jobs, or even just in our personal lives. Scheduling meetings, organizing files, remembering to send those birthday emails, all ripe for automation, freeing up our time and mental energy for more creative, strategic work.
Okay, so it's like having a super efficient assistant, minus the small talk.
Exactly.
And speaking of making things more human, the next part of the article is all about precision in lead nurturing and personalization, which honestly, at first glance, I was like, wait, aren't those kind of contradictory?
I can see why you'd think that. It's a common misconception, but here's where it gets really cool, and the article does a great job of explaining this. Automation, when used correctly, doesn't have to mean blasting out generic messages to the masses. In fact, it can actually enhance personalization through, and this is key, data.
Okay, so walk me through this. How does data make things feel more, like, personal?
So imagine you're a business owner, right?
Good.
With the right tools, you can analyze things like customer data, their online behavior, even past interactions.
Mm-hmm.
All these little data points that when you put them together can help you tailor your messaging, your content, even your offers to each individual. It's about speaking directly to their needs and interests, but at scale.
So it's like instead of getting those mass-produced emails that are totally irrelevant, you're getting something that's actually meant for you.
Exactly. And think about it. Those personalized recommendations you get on your favorite streaming platform or online store,
Oh, yeah.
that's powered by data and automation, and it just makes the whole experience feel more valuable.
Totally. Like the company actually gets you, which builds trust.
For sure.
And we all know trust is everything, whether you're running a business or just, trying to navigate life in general.
Oh,
Okay, the article then goes on to this whole data-driven insights thing, which, I'll be honest, initially made me think of like complicated algorithms and spreadsheets.
yeah, it can seem intimidating.
Right.
But at its core, it's something we can all benefit from using data to make smarter decisions, even in our personal lives. And it doesn't have to be about crunching numbers all day.
So it's not just for the data geeks out there.
Not at all.
But how does automation actually help us like gather and make sense of all that data in a way that's actually useful? Don't we already have enough information overload as it is?
Oh, absolutely. But that's where automation really shines. Instead of you manually trying to track every interaction, website visit, or market trend,
Yeah.
which would be impossible, by the way,
Oh, totally.
these tools can do the heavy lifting for you. They gather the data, analyze it, and even present it in a way that helps you identify patterns and trends you might otherwise miss.
So it's like having this super-powered research assistant, except this one doesn't need coffee breaks.
Exactly.
Okay, so give us an example. What kind of like aha moments can come from this data-driven approach?
Okay, so let's say you're trying to, grow your online business, and maybe you think your audience is mostly interested in like time management tips, right? Because that's what you're passionate about.
Right.
But then, through automation, you discover that your blog posts on, say, productivity hacks are getting way more clicks than anything else.
That completely changes your whole strategy then.
Exactly. Or maybe you notice that emails sent on like a Tuesday afternoon get way higher open rates than any other time.
Interesting.
Or that people who buy a certain product are more likely to become repeat customers. These insights, powered by automation, can really help you refine your strategies and ultimately make decisions based on, actual data, not just your gut feeling.
It's like taking the guesswork out of it.
Exactly.
Okay, the next point they make is all about consistency in engagement. And let's be real, we all drop the ball sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Like, even with the best of intentions, we forget to follow up, we miss a deadline, it happens.
Human nature, right?
Totally. But the article's point is that, especially in sales, but really in any relationship, those inconsistencies can really hurt you in the long run.
Absolutely. Because building trust and rapport takes time and consistent effort. And when you're juggling like a million things at once, it's easy for those crucial follow-ups to fall through the cracks.
Oh, 100%. And this is true in our personal lives too, right?
Yeah.
Like, how many times have you meant to send that thank you note or schedule that coffee date, but then life gets in the way?
All the time. It's so easy to let things slip.
Right. But what I found interesting is how the article frames automation, not as a replacement for human connection, but as a way to actually strengthen it by making sure we're showing up consistently, even when we're crazy busy.
Yeah, it's like having a reliable wingman, making sure you don't drop the ball.
Totally. So, like, give us an example. How does that actually work in practice?
Well, you could set up like automated email sequences that are triggered by specific actions.
Okay.
So say someone downloads like a free resource from your website. They're clearly interested in what you have to offer, right? With automation, you can make sure they receive a series of personalized emails over the next few days or weeks, providing value, answering questions, gently guiding them to the next step.
So instead of you like scrambling to remember who to follow up with and when, you've got this system in place that's like nurturing those relationships for you.
Exactly. And it's not just emails. There are automation tools for practically every aspect of communication and task management. You can automate your social media posts, get reminders for important dates, even use project management tools that keep everyone on the same page and make sure nothing falls through the cracks.
It's all about working smarter, not harder.
Right, exactly. But here's the thing, and the article touches on this too, it's not enough to just like automate for automation's sake.
So you're not just saying like throw technology at the problem and hope for the best.
Right, it's got to be strategic and intentional. You need to identify those specific areas where you're struggling with consistency or where human error is most likely to occur.
Where you're dropping the ball.
Exactly. Or where you just want to free up some mental space.
Yeah, make your life a little easier.
Yeah.
So it's about finding that balance where technology helps us be more human, not less, right?
100%.
Okay, so I have to ask, with all this talk about automation, what about the people who are worried about, robots taking their jobs?
Yeah, it's a valid concern for sure, and it's something that comes up a lot. But what's interesting is that historically, every time we've had these big technological advancements, it's actually created new opportunities.
Right.
Think about like when ATMs were first introduced, people thought bank tellers would be out of work.
Oh, totally.
But instead, it freed them up to focus on more complex customer interactions, providing financial advice, building relationships, things machines can't do.
Right. It's like they leveled up their jobs.
Exactly. And that's what I think is going to happen with automation, too. It's not about replacing humans. It's about helping us evolve and do what we do best.
So it's not about doing things faster. It's about doing things better.
100%. It's about using technology as a tool to enhance our human capabilities, not replace them.
I like that. It's like we're on the verge of this whole new era of productivity, which is kind of exciting.
It is exciting, but we also have to be mindful, as with any new technology, there are always potential downsides. We can't just blindly embrace it without considering the implications.
It's like anything, right? You got to be careful.
Moderation in all things.
Right. But overall, I got to say, I'm feeling pretty good about this whole automation thing. Like, it really can make our lives easier and honestly, maybe even a little more fulfilling,
I'm with you on that. And what I love about this conversation is we're going beyond the hype, right?
Totally.
We're not just talking about the latest gadgets or whatever. It's really about those core principles. And those principles, those can transform not just our businesses, but also our personal lives, our relationships even. Like, it really changes how we think about productivity and success in this day and age.
Right. It's like we've unlocked a secret level or something.
Yeah.
But for our listeners who are like, okay, this is great, but where do I even start? What's one small step they can take like today, to bring some of this automation magic into their lives?
Oh, I love that question. And my advice is always start small.
Yeah.
Exactly. Don't try to do everything at once. Just pick one or two tasks, either for work or even just in your personal life that feel like those tasks.
The ones you're always putting off.
Yes, the soul-crushing ones. Once you've got those in mind, do a little digging, see what's out there. There are so many tools and apps these days. A lot of them are super user-friendly and even free.
Even just being aware of those tasks, like, okay, I spend way too much time on this one thing.
Right, and then it becomes, okay, how can I make this easier on myself?
Work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. You might be surprised at what you come up with.
This has been awesome. I feel like I've learned so much, and honestly, I can't wait to start automating all the things.
Me too. And remember, this is just the beginning. This whole world of automation is constantly changing and growing, so stay curious.
Right, and don't be afraid to experiment a little.
Exactly.
And listeners, we want to hear from you. What really resonated with you today? Have you had any, automation wins or fail? Share your stories in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going.
Yes. The more we all share, the more we all learn. And who knows, maybe we can inspire each other to finally tackle those to-do lists and have a little more fun along the way.
That's a wrap for this deep dive. Until next time, stay curious, everybody.